Hey guys, welcome to the first in the episode of the Manarchy podcast. This is a podcast, a channel dedicated specifically to the uprising and improvement of men and men's lives, and a very pertinent topic in today's society. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first two guests, Sumit and Wilson. Please guys, introduce yourselves and tell us what you do, why you're here, and why this is important to you.
Well, thanks for bringing us in, Chris. It's wonderful to be part of this community we're trying to build up together. I'm Sumit, born and raised in Dubai. I would say I am a bit of a fitness freak. I'm trying my best to figure out what the physical edges of my existence is at, how to push myself harder every day, both mentally as well as physically. It's been a tough journey so far. I'm a biomedical engineer. I'm also an MBA and a lawyer. So I have got a few mixes of really confusing, diversified knowledge, which I don't know how I'm going to use.
We all do.
But I enjoy this discourse. I'm really glad I'm here and hope to bring a completely new perspective, if I can contribute in that way, to the discussion of male betterment in society.
Absolutely.
I'm Wilson. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sumit, for getting me in. I'm a realtor. I'm from India, Mumbai. I'm 55 years old. I know. I understand that. 55 years old.
40.
40.
I'm going to
42. So 40, 42, and 55. Yeah. Well, I'm here to talk about my personal experiences about what health and fitness is all about. And I hope you will enjoy it. You will love it. And anything we put across is based on our own personal experiences. Yeah?
And we seem to have a lot of that between us.
Oh, you bet. You bet.
All right, guys. So look, we're obviously going to discuss quite a few topics while we're here. I thought a really good format would be just to kind of give each one a certain time frame and throw out a few questions and see, just say which way the cold wind blows, you know? Mm-hmm. So the first topic I wanted to kind of get into with you guys, and I think it's a very, near and dear to my heart, as I've been a coach for over 15 years working in the health and fitness industry, is strength training and why it's important. Why is it important for men of mine and your age and above to have strength training in their life and to ensure that they have a longevity of life? What's your take on that?
I have multiple perspectives. If I was to divide this into discipline-based answers, I would start with the biological one, of course,
sure.
Which is as you age. Of course, we already know we have everything from muscular reduction in muscular density, muscular strength creation capability reduces over time. Your muscular replacement reduces over time. Your bone density goes down. We're talking about things like sarcopenia happening as early as in the mid to late 30s, starting. It's rearing its ugly head, so to speak.
Sure.
So you've got every motivating reason to, as early as possible, create that discipline in your lifestyle from a physical perspective to start offsetting that damaging condition of age, right? So you mentioned longevity, and longevity it's such a vogue term to use right now. It's just like, I'm going to pump myself up. I'm going to be that billionaire, $2 million a year spender, and try to just pump myself up with pills and IVs and generate a pseudo lifestyle that is going to make me live up to 100. Well, there are already communities in this world that are living up to 100 or beyond, right? I mean, whether that's the blue zones or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're doing something right. And when you actually start coalescing the factors that they're doing well, physical activity is critical, and understanding of your purpose is critical, and basically just a sense of calm and peace that comes from the community and social. So physical activity being one of the pillars that is often ignored. Yes. As being some of the most critical things to offset the problems that you're going to face. 70% of all cases of joint problems which lead to arthritis or osteoarthritis in women is specifically because they're not working out.
Yes.
Because they don't lift weights. And this is becoming more and more common knowledge, of course, and we can delve deeper and talk about low intake of protein, which offsets the muscular damage, and the dehydration of your
Also,
the synovial fluids.
also, sorry, what you rightly said is about physical activity.
Yeah.
The notion these days is about physical exercise.
Yeah.
And that's where the demotivating factor comes in.
Correct.
You understand the
It
point?
always looks like you got to go to the gym, right?
Exactly. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case. You see, being fit doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy.
True.
But being healthy means you're fit.
Yes.
I mean, you look at all those sumo wrestlers and all those Mongolian wrestlers, look at the amount of food they eat and what size they gain and what size they have.
Absolutely.
But they are much more flexible, they are agile, they are fast, and they are strong.
I guess it depends on how you quantify fitness, right?
Exactly.
So one thing, and this is just my personal perspective of what I've seen, particularly in this region, is that people are overly obsessed with the aesthetics of exercise. So oftentimes it's about how can I get my body to look rather than how can I get my body to perform. And so for me, I've always been a functional fitness trainer. That's been my main passion, is getting people to understand that actually how your body performs, how your body moves in a multiplanar fashion is most important, and more important, particularly as you get older, and that the aesthetics of that should come as a byproduct of your body's ability to perform those movements. So when we're talking about, basic compound lifts, your squats, your deadlifts, your bench presses, your bent over rows, your overhead presses, all these fantastic compound movements, all these functional based exercises, which, by their very definition, they just translate into everyday life. If you're doing a deadlift, you're basically picking up a suitcase.
Yeah.
Right. If you're doing an overhead press, you're putting a hand luggage into a airplane compartment.
This is such an interesting point because I actually, sorry, I'm interrupting, but I realized that just doing chores around the house can oftentimes be a very effective workout.
It is. It is.
Right. So I I'm not talking about like mopping the floors and all that stuff alone, but it's just like organizing things, washing your dishes sometimes, right? You can put it into the dishwasher, but imagine if you're actually doing the actual activity and organizing your couch, your bed, making your bed every morning rather than having someone else come in and do it for you is a combination of both discipline as well as actual physical activity.
Yeah.
And it calms you down. It centers your mind on an activity. You feel good about.
Well, and by the way, there's actually a name for it. It's called NEAT, right? Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, right? So that when you're not in the gym, this is what it is. This is all of those activities that you do on a daily basis that essentially increase the amount of energy burn that you have throughout the day. And in this day and age, when everything is so easily accessible,
Exactly.
you can get anything from the touch of your phone to your door in literally 10 minutes.
Like for example,
I ordered a mouse, like literally a computer mouse, and it was at my door in 9 minutes.
see, there you go. I mean, even if you've got a store right which is next to you,
I could have waited for it.
you know what I'm saying? You won't walk into it, but you'll sit at home, run through your phones and your laptops, and then buy something. You see, the notion of fitness is so very different. Like in my personal experience, who was that guy? Peter Andre. Mysterious Girl. You see that song? Yeah, you remember? He comes out of the water and he got those 6 abs.
Everybody wanted to be Peter Andre.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yes.
And that is where the whole thing catches up.
Yeah.
And till date, I mean, I was a long distance runner. I used to run 20, 25, kilometers every day.
Okay.
Which is around, say, 48, 50 miles I'm talking about. So I used to do regular. I was top in my school, top in my college. Till, of course, I mean, pressures come in life. You give up whatever it is.
Yeah.
But during those days, I had those abs, and people used to look at me and say, "Oh, this guy doesn't eat."
Which is the exact opposite.
Opposite of what is now. And I wish I wouldn't have been eaten, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now those are in demand. And the whole notion of being fit is you must have 6 packs. Which
That's what he was hitting on, right?
Exactly.
The aesthetics part of it
Which
has
is
taken
part of
over the
it.
story.
And
Yes.
that's the thing. You don't have to go to the gym to have a physical activity.
Yeah.
Make it a lifestyle. Like you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you wear your suit. Make walking your lifestyle.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. That documentary on the blue zones was hitting on exactly that point. There are people who are 85 and 90, and just to get to the corner grocery store, they have a 200, 300 meter elevation worth of a stair. that they have to walk. That's
Right.
part of their community because
Yeah.
they're living in a hilly environment. They don't have a choice. We're talking about an 85-year-old person is like walking.
Lung busting exercise before you even get to the shop.
You don't
Exactly.
even get there. It's just like, well, I need milk. Well, I guess I'm walking.
You're from the mezzanine to the ground floor.
Yeah.
You wait for the lift.
Yeah.
And I tell those kids, hello, how old are you? 8. Go down the stairs.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you, like these days,
Get
when I
on
see
this.
somebody, if I'm getting on the elevator at the ground floor and I'm going up to, say, the 13th floor, somebody gets in and is going up to the first floor.
Yeah.
I think to myself, you lazy, like,
Exactly.
you could have just taken the stair. And
I
by
know
the way,
exactly
you're
what you're
inconveniencing me because this is taking longer for no reason, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think, look, how can we change the mindset? What's the key thing? What's the key message that we need to get people, particularly that lead a sedentary lifestyle? How can we change the mindset so that they can treat the body and their exercise as important as they treat their careers?
It's his point, exactly.
See, the whole thing is this.
Activity.
Not everybody works for, say, 7 to 8 hours every day. There are some who go in the morning at 6, come back at 7, 8 in the night. Not everybody has got a nice, good apartment, where I can change whatever. I live in a sharing accommodation.
Yeah.
What do I do then? What happens if I don't have a gym close by? What happens if I'm not interested in going to the gym, but I want to lose weight? The problem is the moment you tell people you have to lose weight, the first thought which comes is, I have to go to the gym and I have to diet.
Yeah.
And that is where the whole mess up is. That is where the whole screw up is.
It's a messaging problem.
Exactly. You don't have to diet. You don't have to do diets. For me, my simple message to people who are watching out there, when you come home, whether you're a bachelor, you're married, you have grandfather, mother, sister, daughter, sons, whatever it may be, how busy you are, you've got 24 hours in a day.
Right.
If you want to do something, make a physical activity as your lifestyle. If you get bored, at least sit at home, wear the shoes and sit at home. That will encourage you to walk at least inside the house just for 5 minutes. Open up your door. Every building has got corridors. Try not to go through the lifts. Just walk in the corridors for 5 minutes. That's it. Don't do beyond that. Just
Perfect.
5 minutes.
This is
Come and
exactly
sit.
what I believe
And
in,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what, this is how I started. I mean, of course, it's my dad used to wake me up every morning and I used to hear it. Go run, go run, go run. And that is how I got used to it.
Yeah.
But then the initial steps were difficult. I
Right.
did the same thing. I went for 5 minutes. Then I said, okay, I can do 5. I like it. Let's do 10. Okay. But the thought of diet was never in my mind because that was not the concept then. You eat carbs and carbs and carbs and you run, which is good.
Yeah.
See, the difference between long distance and short distance is, you see these short distance runners, they are muscular, they are big. Why? Because the speed enhances. They like that speed. And in that,
Well, it's burst energy versus endurance.
versus-
Right?
and you look at these guys who run long distance, I was like this, skinny, bones popping out, everything popping out. You know what I'm saying? Till I said, okay, now let me try a bit of gym, which I liked. It's also a passion of what you want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are so many aspects. There's so many things. What do you want to do? Gym is not the ultimate.
No, there's so many different aspects of fitness.
There's so many
You have to
things.
pick one that you enjoy.
Pick one. You want to walk into the beach.
I want to add to this because this is by far the best advice I've heard, Wilson. I'll be very honest with you. I do feel that there is a little bit of a tweak to this because if you go into the gym, even for someone like me who actually goes to the gym regularly, getting up in the morning and going there is still a bit of a battle. Let's be very honest. I know exactly what I'm going to go do there. I know how much pain I'm going to struggle and suffer with, and I know how awesome it feels when you walk out of the gym.
Yeah.
The endorphins rushing, and you have that level of confidence. You've got the pump, right? Now, what do you do when you cannot get past that first hump of just getting out of your house with your shoes on and your thing and going to the gym? There is a pain associated with this, and your body.
It's a mindset.
Your mind is designed to abhor and detest pain.
Yes.
It wants, and that's the core definition of procrastination, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Procrastination happens because the activity you're supposed to be doing is registered as pain,
Yes.
and you want to avoid pain. It's a self-defense mechanism. Now, if you can't go to the gym, and you shouldn't need to go to the
Not
gym,
again, yeah.
I had that problem with going to the gym. What did I do first? I started going hiking.
Right.
I just found out every weekend in the morning. We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah,
and we
that's right.
Just go and do. What did you do? You got a bunch of guys together. As guys, it's really nice to have like 5 guys you can shoot shit with and just talk and just banter.
Yeah.
walk 12 kilometers, not on a level path. There's a little bit of elevation. There's pebbles. You're constantly using your twitch muscles and all that to basically get trained on that also.
But then again, it's
And you're getting
like-minded
fresh
people,
air.
isn't it?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
And there the communities are here.
Yeah.
The communities are here. So if you say, I don't know who to go with, that is a function of you being lazy enough not to look for it.
Sure. Yeah, because if you look for it, you will absolutely find it.
You will find it.
Yeah.
I found it. And when I found it, I started building from there. It was a what do you call it? A snowball effect.
Yes.
Right. And if you tell me then that I found it, but how am I going to go there? Well, I've had people who have been carpooling for more than 50 hikes.
Right.
They didn't even drive there.
Okay.
Ever. And when you develop a community, everyone supports each other. They're like, oh, you live there? I'll pick you up and we'll go.
Yeah.
Every single time I've faced that stuff. So people who didn't have cars, okay, problem solved.
There you go.
Give me 10 such problems and I will give you 10 such solutions. Absolutely. And this is just for hiking. What if it's just walking?
Yeah.
What if it's mall walkers, man? You just walk around the mall and window
That's
shop,
fine.
look
That's
around
fine.
and that's it.
Yeah. That's
You'll
still
still
okay.
hit your goal of walking around. You'll get fresh air.
Exactly.
You'll rejuvenate your muscles, your joints and everything like that. But if you still cannot do this, something as simple as just walking, then there is a deeper issue at play here.
Yeah.
And that is that you are so ridiculously comfortable that your brain and your body is designed to just convert you into this ball of mass that is going to just naturally degrade with every passing year that it's going to go in there, and nobody else is to blame but you.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, but Sumit, you're an extrovert, and I'll put it across to you all as well. You can go talk to communities, talk to people like we met, isn't it?
Yeah.
What about someone who's an introvert?
I've had them, by the way.
And then who wants to get introduced? How one can go about it?
It takes only one. It takes one action, which is, so this is why apps exist, right? Because oftentimes it takes away the pain of the very first words being said. An introvert, for example, a stark introvert will have a problem raising up the voice to have a conversation, but you can drop a message. So when you go to meetup.com, Meetup works really well here to set up hikes.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just say, I'm attending, and that's it. There's a WhatsApp group. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to know anyone. You just have to show up.
Yeah. Belong is another
This
one.
could be, there you go.
Yeah, belong is another
You could do paddle. You could do badminton. You could do cricket. You name the sport and an activity that you're passionate about, and suddenly you are now more physical.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you were saying. But to add to that a little bit, it's like that little flavor that you add on top. It's, you need a little bit of that weightlifting, that movement that is going to bring a little bit more stress to yourself, right? Generation
That is-
of good cortisol.
that is what
and
strength-
that's that gym activity thing.
That's what strength training is all about. Also,
training,
also,
exactly.
Again, in terms of strength training, do it at home.
Yeah.
It's your body weight. Do dips. Do a bit of squats. It's your body
Push-ups,
weight.
yeah.
Push-ups, a little bit. Get a dumbbell, which will hardly cost you 100, 150 bucks out here, which is 2.5, 3 kgs. There are so many exercises on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just go, just pump, and that's about it. Right?
Chris, you're a trainer.
You're a trainer.
How it must be ridiculously easy to get someone to build a regimen to work out at home also, right? Maybe you could train them at home too.
I have done,
you
many times in the past. And the point that you raise about just starting is so important. Just sitting there in your shoes before even thinking about going for a walk, making sure that you basically don't do too much too soon, right? That's essentially the mental block that I think a lot of people have, is just thinking that they have to do more than they have to do in order to be able to make any type of progress. It's really just about starting. And to be perfectly honest with you, most people do need to take that approach. They do need to dial it right back, because you've ever heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
That's most people. Most people don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
So when it comes to physical activity, even from the point of view of doing, body weight exercise, sometimes people are even too heavy to do their own body weight exercise.
Correct.
You ever seen somebody who's 30 kilos overweight and tried to get them to do a push-up? It doesn't look good, and it doesn't feel good for them either, right?
I mean, look at the amount of stress that you're putting on the joints.
Absolutely, exactly. And so, just a random stat, 1 pound of weight lost is 5 pounds of pressure off your knee, right?
Yes,
that's an incredible stat when you think about, well, actually, if I just lose 5 pounds, that's a lot of weight and pressure off of your joints.
By the way, that's longevity, right?
Absolutely.
So as soon as you remove that, your meniscuses are no longer going to be under that constant stress.
Yeah.
The fluid's being pushed up.
Yes.
That's ultimately going to lead to the...
However, what I will say, I'll caveat that with, it's a very difficult conversation to have. If I say to somebody who's an avid, like for example, like yourself, Wilson, where, you used to run a lot.
Oh, yes.
And then, in the latter, part of their life, maybe they haven't lost the enthusiasm for running. And maybe it's all that they know or their most favorite part of exercise. And then I have to have a conversation with someone and say, well, actually, you're too heavy to run. This is actually going to be of a detriment to your health,
Yes.
rather than actually a positive, because you're going to affect your joints in a way that they don't want to be affected. Correct. And now once you have that problem with that joint, now you've got two issues. Now you're too heavy, and now you have to try and recover from the pain that you've just inflicted upon yourself by doing too much too soon.
Exactly.
Right? So that for me, and like you say, with longevity, making sure that you can keep your body illness-free, chronic illness-free, right? So for instance, we talk about the development of muscle mass. And one thing that I think when it comes to chronic diseases, such as like diabetes, for example, particularly in this sort of region, you get a lot of people that suffer from diabetes, right? And people will often opt for a drug that is designed to help them combat the effects of diabetes.
Which never heals.
Oh, by the way,
which never heals.
Absolutely.
Ozempic is just one name, right? I mean, Wegovy, Ozempic, all that. It's a textbook prescription today.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you're pre-diabetic? Ozempic. It doesn't. They don't even think about it anymore.
Absolutely.
All that nausea, all that stuff. Side effects we can talk about later. But
And so to the point of building some muscle mass, developing strength and building some muscle mass, what a lot of people really don't realize is, particularly as we get older, and the reason why people become so susceptible to things like diabetes as they get older, is because the lack of muscle mass and ability to hold sugar, right, in the form of glycogen, is your arch nemesis. This is why you see some people who you can look at them and they look perfectly healthy,
but they're not. Visceral fat.
Absolutely, as well. And so you've got this horrible combination of somebody who hasn't got a clue about exercise. First of all, they don't really understand, because they look at themselves and they think, well, I'm not overweight, so I don't understand why I'm diabetic, right? So they're almost this kind of skinny fat sometimes. And then, the doctors tell them, well, actually, you're at risk of diabetes and you need to start doing something,
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but from what I understand, a person who's actually looks fit from an aesthetic perspective, but has a lot of visceral fat on the inside, low muscle mass, is at a greater risk for chronic health conditions further down the line than is a person who is slightly overweight or even medium overweight.
Look, yes, I would say yes and no. There are reasons for that, which will probably take me a little bit too long to explain. But I would say that in terms of visceral fat, there's nothing that you can do aside from, light cardio activity and really taking care of your nutrition. There's no, you can't outwork visceral fat, unfortunately. This is just purely nutrition based. And, this is where a lot of these health complications arise from, All right. So Sumit, just to summarize, what we've kind of gone through today, what's your take home message for our listeners and our viewers out there regarding the strength training for men?
Get up and move. I don't have any other words to say that are more definitive in what's going to be beneficial to you. And it's built on your message, essentially. If you have to get something, if you have help at home, let them handle the more critical tasks. You need to go to the fridge to pick up something, get up and move, right? You do that for your critical functions anyway. You'll get up and move when you do your brushing of your teeth. But, I need to get the laundry done. See if you can actually put it into the machine, take it out, and hang it yourself, right? Yes, you've got the help, but the amount of calories that you're going to actually burn is going to be your benefit for the day. That's actually going to go into that little checklist of the glass filling up of the amount of activity that you've achieved. So I think just movement, physical activity, not just
get out and move more.
Start with that.
Yeah.
You'll see the results, and then you'll want to enhance it further with sports and with gym training and with the group activities that you can actually get into, and it's just never looking back from there.
I absolutely agree what he says. I mean, let me cite you an example, in very short terms. When you go to work or in your business, you give you 100%, right? If a task is given to you, you will go all out and prove that you are the best. So when it comes to your physical being and your mental being,
Yeah.
why are you lacking there? You see, I see a lot of this, when we go for parties and all that, when we click pictures, hey, hang on, I'm going to take from this angle because I look, come on, I mean,
Yeah.
if you know exactly what's happening, why you're wasting your time?
That's actually very well said.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So everybody wants to look good in this life, right? I mean, nobody wants to look, shabby and, whatever it is. Everybody wants to look good. So how do you look good?
Yeah.
First, love yourself. Start loving yourself. Shut the noises from outside. Introspect. See what you want to do. And then take it from there and move on. If you're alone, go alone. Do it. Don't give up. Come what may, whether you're 30, 40, 60, 70, 80, it's never too late. Never too late.
Yeah.
It's a great
Don't give up.
That's the mindset thing.
That's
man.
the mindset.
That's the mindset.
That is
People
where
are
the
like, I'm
mental-
60, I should behave 60. I'm sorry, but your body's
55, it's okay. Yeah, I think.
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
Listen, my take home message for the viewers is just this: that unfortunately, we're all going to die one day, right?
Yeah.
But preferably, we don't want to die in pain,
Die healthy.
and that's the most
One
important
stroke.
thing. That's it. We don't want to die in pain, and so you should do everything that you can to mitigate that risk from happening. That's my personal mantra. So, guys, thank you very much for watching our first episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. Please like and subscribe for more content, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.